Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Thoughts on Education, an initiative by collegedunia.com. Today we have Dr. T. Beena, Principal of Happy Valley Business School in Coimbatore. Welcome to this session, ma'am. Let's begin the session, ma'am.
Yes.
My first question to you is that you have held key positions at educational institutes throughout your professional career, ma'am. So what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
See, I have 25 years of experience handling only MBA students. And if you ask me what is the change, there's been a lot of change. But we have been learning from every little change. So the generation has changed and businesses have changed. And the connectivity between students and the corporates have also changed. So at every point and stage in the last 25 years, I have begun to understand what's really important for a student and what's important in a company or for a corporate from a student. And maybe because of that, the ease of connecting a student to a corporate is very easy these days. So the student doesn't really feel the difference between being a student in an institution or rather our institution and an employee in a corporate. So the bridge between the class and the boardroom seems to have merged a lot. So that I think is the input that I have gained over the last 25 years, which we have sort of forecasted, and we have been proactive in our measures that we do in our MBA program. So that I think is what I have been doing for the last 25 years.
Okay, ma'am. So on continuation with that, can you throw some light on your philosophy of leadership, ma'am, and also more about your leadership style?
If I have to be frank with you, I would not like to go back to all the theories that I generally teach students, because though there is one theory called as situational leadership, I would like to go with that only.
Okay.
Situations change, and as a leader, unless you understand the people who follow you, then you are no leader. And students being students, it looks like only studies are their only priority, but they come from various backgrounds, from various courses, whereby understanding of business, the charm of doing business later, all this is very confusing for the student. And as a leader, I need to understand those basic requirements and feed them with the right things so that they remain healthy throughout their life. So that I feel is the primary thing that a leader should be doing, and I have been doing all this. So you can even call me as a very empathetic leader, because I sometimes over empathize with the students, but it's always for their good, and some of the students do accept and understand and reciprocate too. So I feel my leadership style is good, and I will continue with the same.
It's great to know about your empathetic leadership style, ma'am. So moving on, being the principal at your school, business school, how do you strategize some of the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of your school, ma'am?
Yeah, every year, as I said, initially it used to be Generation X, Y, Z and all that. But today, every year, we are staring at a new generation of youngsters. So what we do is we have a series of meetings once the academic year, gets over. We try to understand what the current requirements are, what is it that we can learn from the past, and what is it that we will be doing for the future. So we try to blend everything. That is, we always take the good from the past and we try to customize certain things for the future batch. When this is done repeatedly, that is by April or May, mostly the academic session comes to an end. The next batch comes only by August. So we have solid 2-3 months for us to plan, replan and strategize. And I think, and we try to implement it. And I guess 99% of the time we are right. Touch wood.
Okay, ma'am. So that's great to know that you're continuously upgrading the programs every year with the past trend and what is required for the next year. So that's great to know about your business school, ma'am. And what are the best practice that you ensure that the students get so that when they go to the industry, they are able to match up with the challenges out there or the competition out there? Like, I would say, how is it more tailored and unique in the way that students are able to face the real world when they go out of your school?
Yeah, see, I'm a marketing teacher, and so I would like to answer this question with from a marketer's perspective. See, every product, if you look at an MBA degree, it's a core product which has to sell first of all. The core product has to have an appeal, which somehow all of us, all the institutions have been vying with each other to sell the product called as an MBA, and everybody is successful that way, because even today there is no single. Is my internet okay? It says it's unstable. Are you able to see?
Yes, I'm able to hear, ma'am.
So sorry for the interruption. Coming back to my answer. So I don't think there is any other alternative degree which can take on or which can compete with an MBA degree even today. So which means the charm of the product is still there.
Okay.
It's a core product. Today, everybody is looking at augmentations to the existing product. Augmentations which are done today become the basic product tomorrow. So again, we need to look at an augmented product year after year. And that's where the challenge for every institution lies. And from a marketing perspective, again, if you need to have a good product or a service, you need to be unique. People talk about something called as your USP, that is your unique selling proposition. How do you sell your services to your customers? We would also add on one more thing to it, which we call it as a value proposition. So it's not a selling proposition. Because a student is not a customer alone, though of course there are agencies which define a student as a customer. We would like to also add value to our service that we give. So how do we do that? Every student does not ask questions after his 5th standard, 10th standard, his degree as to whether I get a job or not, because he still thinks a job is miles away, years away. But only in an MBA program, he realizes that he's so close to his so-called actual life that he starts getting serious. So the learning, or rather the not learning that he has done across 15, 18 years of his academics, we will have to thrust it upon him in the so-called 18 months of an MBA program. When I say 18 months, it's because I take away the project work and the internship work. So the contact that we have with him is 18 months. In 18 months, we need to do a lot of teaching, which is learning, unlearning certain things that they have learned, and reteaching them or relearning. And this is a huge thing which stares at every business school or every teacher, I would say. And for that, what we have thought of doing, and which we have been doing very successfully, is that, in 18 months, as I said, if a student has to step into an organization and perform really well, so that was your question, yes, he should glide smoothly inside. And we make it easy by helping him from day one. So the day one starts with an orientation program, where the orientation program is not just about, cutting the ice between students and staff and say, okay, now go to your classes and start learning economics and accounts. No. It starts with them understanding the bigger perspectives of business and what is it that they should be, aware of and be prepared with. So once they get to know that, across the 18, 24 months that they have ahead of them, they'll be able to, add value to themselves, of course, through us. So we have a lot of tailor-made programs, which is, say, in the first semester, we have a 50-50% time. That is, we concentrate with the available time that we have, 50% is for academics and 50% is for the other things that can enhance your personality. So in the first semester, we call it as a personality re-engineering program. So starting from the external appearance to your behavioral aspects to what you should do and what you shouldn't do, because packaging is very important. So starting from there to the core product, which of course, slowly across the next few months in their MBA, they will definitely get to know. We start molding them. So since this is it's a very slow process which happens from day one, the incremental change that happens in a student is mostly unnoticed by the student, but noticed by people who have not seen him for long. So that's a kind of transformational change that we bring about in a student. So when he gets into an organization, most of the students come back to say, ma'am, the training programs that we have had, the activities that we have had, those are the ones that are actually conducted in our new organization. So it's new to the other B school students or MBA students who come here, but it's only for Happy Valley students that we are doing it for the second time. So that makes us happy, because we have now understood that there's not much of a gap between what we have in Happy Valley and what's happening in corporate. So that, I guess, is our USP, and we catch on to that. So if you ask me what exactly do you do, we put it under an umbrella term called as experiential learning. I think we have been one of the first who have started this trend of experiential learning, where we think experience, hands-on on business activities is what makes a student understand business better. So we stretch our timelines in a day, in a week, and across months, so that a student gets a lot of experiential learning in his 2 year of study here.
That's great to know about the experiential learning that the students get at Happy Valley, ma'am. So here we have been talking about the academic side of it. Can you throw some light on the extracurricular activities or any co-curricular activities that are planned for the students to enhance their skills while they are at Happy Valley, ma'am?
Yes. So it starts with the basic communication. As I said, communication is not just English. It's about getting the other person to understand what you wish to communicate. And that happens over a period of time. It's not the language of English, but it's a language of business. And that's what a student learns from day one via activities. So all these activities that we do integrate a lot of management lessons to a student, which definitely help a student. So this is one. Second, if you ask me, we have a lot of clubs, major clubs which are general clubs, which every first year and second year student is a part of it. For example, we have an investment club. An investment club starts from day one, where we have club members, the seniors, help the juniors, they handhold them, they tell them the purpose of an investment club. They sometimes, trade with real money, sometimes with virtual money, but most often it is real money. So they understand the objective of the right investments at the right time. As I said, we also have certain, clubs, like we call it as a, it's actually called an English club, but it is not where we teach English. It's where a person can stand in front of a mirror. The first exercise is like that, where a student stands in front of a mirror, sees how he looks and how he communicates in front of a mirror. It starts from there, and from there is no turning back. So a student slowly, as I said, tries to overcome his various fears, tries to clear off a lot of cobwebs in his mind, and becomes clearer and clearer day by day. So this happens with general clubs. When you get into the second year, where you start specializing, then you start off with your specialization clubs. So we have specialization clubs for marketing, finance, HR, logistics, where once I know this is my love, then I get deeper into it. So these clubs also handhold students, giving them specific inputs about how to go about understanding your specialization better. And these clubs work by having tie-ups with organizations outside. So it's like more hands-on approach is what is happening in the second year via clubs.
Nice to know that your answer to the previous question, which highlighted about the experiential learning, is what is again the same concept that you're following for giving co-curricular and extracurricular activities based. So with the tie-ups from the corporate.
Yeah, not to mention that, of course, we have a fine arts club, where fine arts club and your entrepreneurship club, and then we have a sports club, which takes care of the other smaller things that a student needs. So these are the other clubs also. When you talk about the extracurricular, yes, we give them those, the extra time is for those extra activities. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. And the most important thing that I would like to ask is the placement statistics of your college, ma'am, because students would like to know about where they'll be going once they graduate. So how is it? How are the?
You mean the placement statistics?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, we have a student strength of 120. So 120 in the first year and 120 in the second year. In this 120, we border Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So we are, say, 15 kilometers from the Kerala border, and we are 15 kilometers from the heart of the city, which is called as Coimbatore. Yeah. So we have a judicious mix of students from both these states. Of course, also a few from states like Andhra, Telangana, etc.
Okay.
Now, some people would like to go back to their native places. Some people, if you look at Kerala, there are 20 to 30% of them who wish to go abroad because Middle East is one attractive destination for those from Kerala. There are some who have come to do their MBA program because they wish to take over their dad's business.
Family business,
yes. Father's business. So leaving all that, if you look at the rest, again, I'm also a statistics teacher, so I would go with a normal distribution curve. We have 10% of the students who are placed in very good companies. We have around 70 to 80% of the students who are placed in great companies. And we have 10% of the students on the left-hand side of the curve who are placed in some not so very good companies. When I say not so very good, so it starts with a 3 lakh per annum package to a 8 lakh or 9 lakh per annum package. So on an median salary, if you ask me, it would be somewhere around 5 lakh. So the least would be 3 lakh, and on the other extreme would be 8 to 9 lakh. It has gone up to 12, 14 also, but then I would not like to, pull that here because I would like to go with the majority of students who are, placed in majority of the companies. So going with that, the lower end is 3, the higher end is 9, the median is around 5.
Okay, ma'am. I'm sure students must be getting a very good experience overall studying at your business school. And then when they are graduating, they'll be going out with a lot of skills learned professionally and also in their personal development as well, ma'am.
Yes.
And this will be my last question, ma'am. So what would you like to tell the students? What would your advice to the students be like, ma'am?
My advice to students also always is the same. You should know what you want. Once you know what you want, you can ask what you want. And when you ask what you want, you get what you want. So we are here offering you a big basket of offerings, but I can only offer you a basket of fruits. If you say, I want an apple, I can give you an apple. Otherwise, I would trust the entire basket of fruits to you. I might give you an orange where your expectation is a fruit. So I wish when you come here as a student, you are around 20 years old. So you should be a little more specific about what is it that you want out of your life and your career. Once you know that, only then you will understand the pain that Happy Valley does to ensure that its students get the maximum out of his or her 2 years stay here. So we give the best, but to understand that we are giving the best, a student should know that he or she is receiving the best. And that is why I wish that a student knows what he wants before he steps into any course for that matter. It's not only an MBA or only to Happy Valley, but clarity of purpose gives you better results at the end of the day.
That's such a great thought, ma'am. With that, let me thank you for giving your valuable time for College Dunia, ma'am. Thank you so much.
The pleasure was mine, Sona. It was nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.